Yo boys, so as you can see, I just got rid of my braids. Hope you like my new haircut, but that's not really the subject of this video. Today, we're here to break down one of my new beat that I just made for Blast. It's gonna be a real nice, silky smooth, R&B, synthy, West Coast type beat. By the way guys, my affiliate campaign is still available on my website. So if you wanna make a couple of dollars while I'm making music, and plus, if you wanna have a free multi-kit, just go into the description, grab my new Harmony multi-kit, and become one of my affiliate and get 50% out of each sale that this kit is making. It's 100% free and it's really simple to set up. The melodies or the loop of this video is going to be available in my new upcoming Lost Files multi-kit. For those who don't know, I recently just lost all of my files because I got hacked, so I decided why not make a kit about it. Hope that you're going to be ready for that new drop, Lost Files multi-kit, available the 7th of July. Stay tuned for that, and let's get to the breakdown. Okay, so first we have a main pad. It's contact bank, it's the 40s very own keys, and the preset is 40 PWO piano. So basically for the chords, you go from the 1st to the 7th to the 6th, then to the 5th, then you go up back to the 7th, and then you go down back to the 6th, and it just repeats itself. So just a really simple chord progression, and it sounds like this. For the chord progression, that's a counter rhythm. Make sure to use them a lot, especially in West Coast type beat. That's what you're gonna use a lot, and it sounds really good. And then I just rendered it out into an audio. And for the mix, really simple EQ. Brought down the lows, brought down the highs. Make sure to bring down the mids, especially on those pads. Just a really simple EQ. Then I used Serum for some really soft piano, and the preset is in factory right there. E piano, EP Blood FM EP. And it's just for the top notes, as you can see. So it plays a D sharp major key and it just repeats itself every octave. So as you can see, one there, then one there, then one here. And then you just copy and paste, really simple. And this is how the E piano sounds like. For the mix, just a basic wider to make it a little bit more stereo. Then a bit of reverb. Make sure to put down that low cut. Make sure that the decay is about 0.37 and the mix at about 50. Always add an EQ, put down the lows, put down the highs, and make sure that those frequencies, that's where there's gonna be a little bit of glittery sounds. So like the really high frequencies, but they sound really nice. That's why this is a little bit higher, that you can hear it a little well on the mix. Then you have a really simple free delay. Time is at 5, ping pong mode, 67 on the volume, and pan all the way to the right. Then you have the same plugin Serum again. We go back into the factory mode, E piano again, and then we use the BX bright keys. This is how the bright keys sounds like. Make sure to strumize them to make them a little bit more human, you know. And for the mix again, just a really basic EQ, 5 filter pro Q4, and on the lows and the highs, and make sure that those bright frequencies are a little bit up so that they can shine through the mix. Then we have some vocals from Splice. And since those vocals are already really professional, you don't need any mix for it. As you can see, the mix is literally empty. Then you have an acid bass that you can find inside of my RnB MULTIKit right there, drums, and inside of the 808 and bass you can find acid right there. This is basically a bass, but it sounds like this. Sounds really deep, really low, but this is perfect for those West Coast type beat, guys. And for the bass, you never want to stay inside of that basic pattern, so really add a lot of top notes, make a rhythm of it, make sure that it sounds good, because this is going to be key for those West Coast type beats. And this is how the bass sounds like. As you can see, a lot of top notes, sounds really nice, and sometimes you even want to go 2 octaves up like this. Really nice. For the bass, make sure to bring down the low frequencies, like really the low frequency. You want to bar them down, and sometimes like you can see there, I just put that a little bit higher because I think that's where the bass should hit, but it was not hitting too much for me, so why not boost it? Then you want to lower those frequencies there. This is the mids, and you want to lower the highs because you don't need highs in the bass. One thing that I really love about those West Coast R&B type beat is the leads. And right there we have 2 lead, one humble sine lead preset from Zenology. Zenology is one of the greatest plugins I have right now, guys. It's really good for those R&B type beat, but also for those old school type beats. So it's really nice and should be one of your first plugin if you have no plugins right now. Make sure that for the lead you have some flares like this. You can see I have a ton of flares. It's a really repetitive pattern because that's not the main lead. That's just going to be a repetitive lead just for the rhythm, you know. This is how the lead sounds like. And really the only thing I could say, and sometimes add some rhythm. Don't stay in the same pattern again and again and again. It's gonna be too repetitive. You want to sometimes break the pattern, make sure that it sounds good, and we're good to go. For the mix, since we have 2 leads, you want to make sure that they're not clashing together, especially because they're going to be in the same range of frequencies. So a really good idea is to put one left and one right. For example, here we have the sine lead, which is 30% left, and a really basic EQ where you want to really stay inside of that range frequency. As you can see, this is the range of the lead, and we don't want to have any frequencies out of it for it not to clash with other leads, but also so it doesn't clash with other elements. So there is the other lead, the Handa, I don't know how you say it, lead from Zenology again. As you can see, really nice plugin for leads. And as you can see, the pattern is a little bit less repetitive, even though it has the same structure with that staircase like this. Like you can see the staircase here, and here. Even though it might look like it's repetitive, it is not the same thing. This is how this lead sounds like. For anyone who wants tips on how to make really nice leads, the first tip I can give you is to get yourself a MIDI keyboard and learn scales, learn things. This is really going to be the greatest tip I can give you, and it's also going to help you make beats faster. For example, me, I just got the FLT49, just got it for my birthday, and it's a really nice one. But of course, if you don't have the money for that one, you can get smaller ones like the Arturia Minilab 3 that I had back in the days. It only costs about $100, and if you still have no money for this, inside of FL Studio you can just click right there, and as you can see, it's the typing keyboard to piano keyboard, and then you want to put any scale, or you can just put C and go into layout piano, and this is going to be allowing you to use your keyboard as a real keyboard. And as you can see, if I click on my keyboard, so as you can see, it works. And that's also another tip that you can use, especially because here it has a root note and layout features that allows you to stay inside of the scale. For anyone who doesn't know anything about music theory, this is a really great way for you to still make some really good human leads, but without the music theory. Then for the mix, as I just told you, you want to put one right and one left, and then you want to put a pro cue. Make sure that it's in the range of the lead, bring down the lows, the highs, stay really simple for this, and just add a little bit bit of reverb. This is another way to distance it from any other leads, but also to make it a little bit better. Low cut 500, 400 also works. Decay is 0.50 and the mix out about 30. Lastly, since the first bass is really busy and really has a complex feeling to it, you want to add another bass that is more simple and follows the basic chord progression. So for this bass, I just use the Oscar Bass 1 preset from Omnisphere, and as you can see, it just follows the chord progression. So it goes from the first, then to the 7th, then to the 6th, then to the 5th, goes back to the 7th, and falls down to the 6th. And this is how the Reese bass or the Oscar Bass 1 preset sounds like. For that bass there, you don't want it to clash with the other complex bass that we had for the insid bass. You just want it to be there for a really simple bass that is not complex and that just follows the chord progression. That's where you need to lower the frequencies where the other bass is going to hit, and also any other frequencies that can clash. By the way, if you have FabFilter Pro, you can just go here and then use that SC features, and basically this allows you to have some kind of sidechain input, as you can see, for you to see all the frequencies, and basically if it clashes with something, it's gonna go red. This is a really good way to filter and also to cut any clashing frequencies. And this is how all the melodic elements sounds together. Okay, let's get to the drums. So for the first drum we have here is a stomp, something you're gonna hear in every West Coast high beat. There's gonna be a lot of them, and if you don't have any stomp or you don't know what is a stomp, you can just go inside of the description and grab my new Harmony MULTIKIT, where there will be 3 different stomps for you to be using them. Some really nice stomps. Basically it's a kick with higher frequencies, and for the pattern we want to stay real simple. As you can see, you want to do this. So a really good way to do this is to first place your first note first, like this. So if this is a step, as you can see, then you have 4 step, and there you go into the second bar. So inside of your first bar, so if you have your first step right there, you want to place the first note on the then on the 4th right there. Then you want to go inside of the second step and place 1 in the 3rd. So as you can 1, 2, 3, 3rd right there. And there you have your pattern. And this is how the stomp pattern sounds like. And you just want to repeat it, be simple with it, just add some counter rhythm notes, not all the time because it's going to be too much, just sometimes. And for the mix, just filter it, make sure that you brought down the lows, brought down the highs, and it's going to sound really good with it. Then you have a clap that you can find inside my kit, which is there, claps, it's the clap and hat. Here's the pattern, so you want to go into the second step and the 4th step, and you just repeat it. And then for the hi-hats, it's inside there. Hats, by the way, this is the Harmony MULTIKIT. Looks really nice, as you can see. Inside of the drums, you have the hi-hats right there. It's the clicky one. And for the basic West Coast pattern, if you look at the first step, like this, on the 1st, on the 2nd, and on the 4th, and then you just create a space here, and you just repeat, and then you be creative with it, and you repeat it sometimes, you know, you see what I mean. So for our pattern, as you can see, it has the same structure, so 1, then 2, then 4, and then just be creative. This is how it sounds like. As you can see, you want to play sometimes with velocity, add some rolls here and there, and also for the last one, I just use the pan effect to do this. Let me show you how to create some rolls on the FL Studio. So you want to take your notes, use the Alt-A feature, arpeggiator. As you can see, it's going to bring you this, and then you just use the time mode right there, and then you just want to use the Alt plus scroll wheel to use the pan feature, and as you can see, you just want to double it and bring it down here, and then it sounds like this. And then we have a snap from the same kit again. Snaps right there is a graceful preset. Sounds really nice, and since it's a perk, you want to be creative, experiment, find your own rhythm. Then we have the perk. So again, experiment, find your perks, find your thing. Me, what I really like, especially in those West Coast type beat, is to use a cowbell. That's what I discovered this really nice perk. And for example, one thing I really like about it is to do some rolls just like this. This is how the cowbell sounds like. As you can see, this roll sounds really nice. Again, you want to play with velocity. Make sure that it creates a staircase. The way you can do this is to select it, then use the right click of your mouse right there on the pan, so on the first one, and then just drag it out like this, so you can see. And it's going to make a staircase for you, so you can easily pan it. Then you have the open hat called Best for Drill, because it's a really good open hat, especially for sexy drill, any type of drill. For that one, you want to copy the stomp pattern and just add some fill notes. Then we have a kick. It's the kick. It's inside of my multi-kit in the kick section, and it's the deep one. The kick and the open hat, they have the same pattern. They go together because this is going to allow the kick to sound better, because they're going to be playing together without necessarily having it crashing down my mixer, you know. Then inside of the perk section, I used the laser ring preset, which is just a laser. Again, for the perks, when you experiment, the good way to do this is to place notes at the end of the bar. So as you can see, that's a bar and you want to place it at the end. But all the time, you want to place them on the fourth or on the second. That's a really good way for you to experiment. Just experiment on those two, then step out of that part. And again, a good thing you want to do is to use the pan mode, so one left, one right here, and also at the end there, one left, one right. Then we have the rim shot, the crisp rim shot right there, but I didn't use it as a snare or as a rim shot. I used it more as a perk, so again, experiment. And another thing you can see again is that I use the pan feature, one right, one left. And lastly, we have the 808. For me, one of the greatest 808 I have inside of my RnB multi-kit. It's called the one preset .1 there. It follows the kick pattern while following the chord progression. For the bass, what you want to make sure is that it doesn't go too much low, so just add a filter and make sure that it doesn't have any highs, and sometimes just reduce those frequencies to let the other basses shine through the mix. And also make sure that you sidechain it with the kick. So a good way to do this is take your kick, the mix, click there, use sidechain right there, then open the limiter. And as you can see on the sidechain in the chord progression here, sidechain, right click, deep, so that's the preset I used for the kick, and then just play with the threshold, the knee, and the ratio until it sounds good for you. Also bring down the saturation. Usually it's there, you want to bring it down like somewhere like this, not too much. And lastly, for the master, you want to use a limiter. Make sure that the saturation is low, lower the ceiling and lower the gain a bit so that everything is playing as loud as possible. Use a limiter so that it doesn't saturate even when it goes up to 0 dB. Sometimes it saturates, lower the saturation here. And lastly, use a camel crusher on the subtle master preset and just disable the distortion. Okay guys, so we're done with the breakdown. Don't forget that you can go in the description and grab the demo of my RnB multi-kit if you want to test it, or even grab the full version of it. Also, you'll be able to make a couple of dollars, so don't forget that. It's a really simple way for you to be making music and making money. Hope that this guide was useful. See y'all next week and have a blessed day. Love y'all. Peace out.